I was thinking the other day, us Christians, do we really know how to love people? I don't think we do. I really think we don't know how to love people. And it's kind of it's a crazy thing, because if you look in the Bible at the example that Jesus set about loving people, I mean, it's a beautiful example. Here Jesus was, he was a rabbi, he was a teacher, he was a leader of disciples, and he would sit and eat with tax collectors and prostitutes. That was a no-no back then. And to sit and break bread with someone, to sit and eat with someone, was a huge deal back then. That means that when you broke bread with someone, when you sat and ate with somebody, that basically meant that you were showing a sign of respect to those people, that they were not lower class citizens, that you had respect for them as a human being. And see, that used to drive people crazy. But Jesus, and see, when Jesus sat and broke bread with these people, he didn't agree with these people's lifestyle. He did not agree with how these people were living. He didn't agree with how the tax collector was living, because basically the tax collector was stealing money from people. He basically didn't believe in what the prostitute and how they were living their lives. But he showed them respect and compassion. And I think we don't know how to do that. We really don't know how to do that. We have no idea how to love someone who's not in our club. If you don't fit in our club, then we don't want you. If you don't believe the right things, if you're not the right color, we don't really want you in our club. And I'm fixing to prove my point to you. I'm going to do a word association game. I'm going to say a group of people, and I want you to think in your mind, and I want you to think about the first thing that comes to your mind when I say these groups of people, okay? When I say gay, lesbian, transgender, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What if I were to say Republican, Democrat, illegal alien, undocumented citizen? I can see some of your heads about to pop now. What if I were to say NRA members? What if I were to say pro-choice? What if I was to say pro-life? What are some of the things that's coming to your mind when these things are said? When these groups of people are said, what's coming to your head? What's coming, the first things that are coming to your mind? See, we have to be very careful that we're not worshiping at the altar of our politics instead of worshiping at the altar of God. I'm going to say that again. We have to be very careful that we're not worshiping at the altar of our politics instead of worshiping at the altar of God. We have to be very careful that we're not worshiping at the altar of Democrats and at the altar of Republicans and not worshiping at the altar of God. Because what will end up happening is you will start pushing people out of your club because they simply don't believe the same way you do. You'll start pushing people away instead of trying to draw people into Jesus. You'll start moving people in a different direction away from you. You'll start moving people away from you instead of actually drawing people towards Jesus. And now I know there's some people out there who feel like we need to stand up for what we believe in. And I'm all fine with that. But I'm just saying, take the example of Christ. When you were sitting there trying to stand up for something, are you like Jesus? Are you sitting down with the same attitude that Christ had? And are you breaking bread with these people? Are you showing respect and compassion to these people that don't believe the same way you do? Are you showing them empathy and compassion? Or are you worshiping at the altar of your politics? Because you've lost all respect, you've lost all compassion for them because they don't fit in your club. I think we need to be very careful of this. We're living in very hard times right now. And it seems like every time we turn around, something's motivated, ends up turning into, the motivation for it ends up turning into some type of political thing. We need, as Christians, to be able to show the fruits of the Holy Spirit, which basically means that God is living inside of me and the Spirit of God is within me. And what I'm showing other people is his fruit of love, kindness, patience, joy. We need to make sure we're showing these things to people. We need to make sure that the Jesus who's living with us, that's living inside of us, is actually able to be seen by others. It's not an easy thing, but I think it's imperative that we need to keep that on the forefront of our minds in today's society. I think today is an awesome time for Christians to show Christ's love, especially in the middle of all this mess that's going on. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please like and share the video, and I'll see you next time on The Grind.